Hey, Kev.
Hey Clay, what's going on?
Hey. Oh, hang on 1 second.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Hello? Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear? Yeah. The episode 30 just dropped of the Brotanical Garden podcast. Yeah. You want us to do what? Kev, I think they want us to roll it.
He wants us to roll it? All right.
Say it again. Roll it.
Roll it!
Welcome to the Brotanical Garden. To ensure nourishment to the saplings, make sure you spread your seed.
That was the Caitlin Clark.
That was the... Sorry,
What'd you just spit, dude?
I got a hair in my mouth. I'm sorry.
You got a fuzz in your mouth? That was Caitlin Clark, dude.
That was Michelle?
Michelle Obama. No, not Obama. Michelle Jordan.
Oh. Dude, did you ever see the conspiracies that Michelle was a dude and it was Michael Obama?
No.
Back to the topic
Iowa
at hand. Iowa lost and our hearts were crushed because it would have just been the story of a lifetime to see her just carry her team to a victory.
She broke the record of most points scored in a tournament. I think
on an NCAA tournament, I think it was, between
men's and women's.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. That is wild. I mean, it's kind of a good stat to shut down everybody that hates on women's basketball so much.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, there are arguments for that, but I think it's a really good, I think it's really good for the sport. I mean, I think they said that game was the most viewed women's basketball game ever to date.
Ever, yeah.
It was like 9 to 11 or something in that range million of viewers.
And I would say 80% of that is because of Caitlin Clark alone.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, seriously.
Just of her alone. She went viral, I guess. I mean, and that's solely based on her play.
Yeah.
She's actually insanely good. And I think she's a junior. So I think she's coming back for another year.
And you know what? If she comes back and she's not the same Caitlin Clark, I don't care. Because she gave us these last couple of months of entertainment.
I will criticize her on one thing. And Caitlin, if you're listening,
I know you
are.
Yeah.
You just called. She plays pretty bad defense.
Oh,
AKA
really?
Little to none.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that was part of the game plan. They were just leaving people wide open, on the 3-point line.
Oh,
just
I gotcha.
Shoots. So it could have been part of the game plan, but I think her defense is subpar. But hey, if you're scoring 40 points a game, I mean, you can give up a few, right?
Yeah, and did you see I'm not sure exactly what her name is, but that one star of LSU,
Angel.
Man, it really it irks me so much because it was such a one-sided taunting session where, I mean, they were down 15 points all game and Angel was just getting in her face, doing hand symbols and stuff to
doing the ring thing.
Yeah, doing the ring thing and then doing this. And it's it's so one-sided. Caitlin Clark, from what I saw, didn't say or do anything to fuel the fire.
Right.
And that's just the ultimate.
She did this. Caitlin Clark did this.
Oh, is that why?
It wasn't in that game.
It was
2 games ago.
Was it even regarded at a person, at a specific individual?
It was at her team. She did it. They made a shot. They called timeout, and they all ran together in the huddle. And as she was running to the huddle, she was like,
"Right,
can't see this." But I mean, Caitlin Clark has been whenever they won, she would look at the crowd and she did that one time and was hyping up the crowd, but it wasn't directed towards anybody.
Yeah.
And so to mock her almost or mimic her, she ran across the court to get in her face to make sure that she saw it.
Repeatedly, yeah.
And
So I'm sometimes a fan of Dave Portnoy, sometimes not a fan of Dave Portnoy. I
Who
think
is
that's
that?
his name. He's the owner of Barstool, I'm pretty sure.
oh, okay, yeah.
But he's that guy who
Understood.
does those like pizza reviews. You've probably
Yeah.
seen him.
Yeah, I
But
know who you're talking about.
he made a couple comments on the matter. He like tweeted out, and then he also did a little bit of I don't know, he probably does a podcast, and that's where I saw a snippet of it. But he was just like, in what sport do you ever see when a team is up 15 points at the end of the game, like it's not a nail biter by any means, and somebody on the winning team goes out of their way to like show disrespect to somebody else on the losing team, male or female of any sport, like that just doesn't happen. And the word he used was classless. And I mean, I agree with it. He seemed a little bit more personally invested or emotionally invested than I am.
Right.
But I mean, he is right. Like, you just don't see that. That's not, you know.
To counter that, like I would say, like in football, you probably see it more. Not so much now because they made taunting penalties such a big emphasis. Maybe not so much in blowouts, like you said. I mean, 15 points in basketball is a blowout.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say.
If it
that's
was like
pretty substantial lead.
buzzer beater, you know, and it was right after he made the shot or she made the shot, and then she does something like that, yeah, I get it. But
yeah, heat of the moment. But
to get, yeah, I don't know. And
sounds like somebody was jealous.
Yeah,
somebody
really
was jealous
does.
that Caitlin Clark was getting all the limelight and they won, and she was like, I mean, maybe she just thought she had to stand out in some way to like. I mean, you just won the national championship. All the spotlight's going to be on you anyways.
She stood out in some way, but I don't think it was the way she wanted to stand out. So,
well, I think it's more split than you might think.
Really?
As far as like people that might, there's like, yeah, that's fine. Like they're beating the crap out of them. I don't see anything wrong with it. And then there's, you know, the other side that say it's unsportsmanlike. But did you see Caitlin's response?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know she responded. She actually doesn't seem like someone to even like
entertain
that. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I guess.
Well, here's the quote. She basically killed him with kindness. She said, and I quote, "She should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes, and she competed. I'm a big fan of hers." End quote.
Gotcha.
So she's killing her with kindness. There.
That's what she did. I mean,
that's the right thing to say, obviously, like as a PR perspective.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely don't think it should be blown out of to the proportion that it is. I think like people are giving her. It should never even have been this big of a thing. But if I did have to take a side, I'm always on the side of the person that I just think sometimes when you're like almost as if you don't care about the situation or just very neutral or passive, it almost makes it more kind of badass than if you were to like be like, oh yeah, what's up, you know, like you just seem like a fool when
like
you
if
do
you
that
hit that
in a
ice
situation.
Cold, like you hit the buzzer beater and you just no reaction.
Yeah,
just kind of like Damian Lillard. It's just okay.
That's where you lost.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. That's okay. It's the basketball player. He's known for hitting like big time buzzer beaters.
And just
he's got ice in his veins.
cold.
I think he's the one that may have. I don't know if he started it, but he popularized it. But
gotcha.
Yeah, like, but another thing is like they had no prior beef before this. That's like the craziest part.
Yeah,
it's like it's not like they've played at all.
They've never.
I genuinely think it was just she was jealous, like of the limelight.
Yep.
So.
And I mean, good for her. I mean, they took down who they thought would be an impossible feat, you know, and they did it. That's great. I think that's awesome. But
yeah, and they did it in convincing fashion too.
They sure did.
And just a side note, UConn won for the men's. If anyone really was wondering, it's like I wonder who won the men's. Yeah, UConn beat San Diego State by almost 20. It wasn't even close.
That was a 4 seed against a 3 seed?
5 seed.
5 seed. See, that's awesome. I love.
Yeah.
And it's sad that nobody. I feel like the whole Caitlin Clark thing stole the show. Which, I mean, great for women's basketball, but This is the first year in several years that there hasn't been a 1 or 2 or 3 seed that have been in the championship game, right?
For the men's?
Yeah. I don't know either.
I can't remember the last 3 years. Or
I think in the last 3 years there's always been a 1 seed that has been in the championship, but I also could be wrong. I don't follow it enough, but I just know that in my experience playing the NCAA bracket challenge every year, I'm always the guy who's like, oh, I don't want a 1 seed to go to the championship, and it always ends up happening to where it burns me because it's like, Kevin, you're so unrealistic.
Did you make a bracket this year?
I did. I made 2 brackets, both for work. I'm not gonna say that I actually did kind of try on one, but only in the sense that I looked up what teams were underseeded, and which teams could be hotter than and UConn came up, Miami came up. There was a couple others that I can't remember.
They made pretty deep runs, but
they did.
Obviously, one of them won it, but Miami made a pretty deep run.
Yeah, and I remember last year, the Razorbacks did better than expected, and so I had them.
Razorbacks.
Those boar. I forget what their team is. See,
the Razorbacks. What school?
Yeah, what school are they? They're red, right?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah, that's what they are. So for the past 2 years, I mean, if you can't tell by now, I do not know basketball. But
sports?
The past 2 years, I've made one bracket that has been strictly based on how well I like the mascot of each team. So I look up the college, and then I look up their mascot. Energy. Oh yeah, that's some serious girl bracket energy. But I did it, and I had a buddy who did teams that were blue. We're gonna go far, and
there's a lot of blue teams though.
Yeah, but they had Creighton.
Okay.
I think they had Xavier, and Xavier did pretty good. They didn't Kentucky lose pretty quickly though?
This year?
Yeah.
I don't think they made it far. Maybe the second round. They got bounced.
And then Kansas had a big upset too. Anyway, this isn't a sports cast. I know we did this last time too, but speaking of sports.
Anyways. I just looked at the time. We've been talking about sports way too long.
Yeah, we have been. Speaking of sports, so you guys,
closing remarks.
I think it was March 16th when it happened, but I had kind of brushed it off until recently. But I've had this pain, and I thought it was in my chest every time I golf. And then it started to become a pain even when I wasn't golfing. And so I initially got kind of concerned. I was like, chest pain, that's not good. So I started doing the worst thing you can do, which is Googling what could be the potential cases. And
That's what I'm doing right now.
I finally narrowed it down to what I think is the issue. I still have yet to go to the doctor, so this is totally self-diagnosed.
Yeah.
But I think it's called an intercostal or intercostal. It's definitely costal. Muscle strain. And I didn't know this, but a quick little science fun fact for you guys.
Quick little WebMD.
Yeah, apparently underneath our chest muscle and going all the way down our ribs, we have these muscles. They're internal and external intercostal muscles, and they are basically directly attached to your rib cage, and they can get strained commonly with hockey and baseball. They can get strained from too much twisting of the body over repetitive motion.
I've had this before then.
Okay.
It was probably very, very minor because we've talked about your injury over the past couple of weeks, just personally. And I relate. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's that sharp, tender pain. And it hurts when you inhale because it's right there on your rib cage. So
Yeah.
I probably had this growing up, like in high school or something, but just very minor.
Which it makes sense why you've had it before, because you've probably had it straining while hitting like ball practice or whatever you were doing.
Right.
So I waited like 4 days, and then I started playing golf again. It came back. I did the same thing another 4 days and waited. So I think now I finally have to take a leave of absence from golf for a little bit, which sucks because I just got new clubs and the weather's finally starting to be nice. But it hurts, man. It's not fun because if you sneeze during the day, if you cough during the day, if you're laying on your back or your stomach in bed, there's like pressure that goes. And so I finally just started taking medicine, and I hopefully it'll help me out. But I think that if another week and a half goes by and I don't see any improvements, I'm gonna actually have to rip the Band-Aid off and go to the doc.
Yeah. I mean, from your little symptoms, it sounds like it's pretty intense. Like, maybe not intense is the right word, but like a little more severe than I first thought it was.
Yeah.
I mean, if it hurts, does it hurt constantly, or like if you move like a certain way, do you like tweak it, or
it doesn't hurt
really
constantly, but there's so many instances during the day that I'm not expecting it to hurt, and it hurts to where it's kind of like dealing with such a little pain over such a long amount of time and just so frequently throughout the day makes it awful, because like every single time it gets reopened or injured or whatever's happening, it
like
hurts.
a flare up kind of deal.
Yeah, so I've been having to do ibuprofen like once or twice a day. Usually,
have you iced it at all?
So I did an icy hot, but I haven't really iced it. I did see that that's supposed to actually help a lot, though.
Yeah. Icy hot's actually probably pretty good. That's probably more for like when you're actively using it. So like icy hot before you play.
Gotcha.
Because I used to use it all the time for my arm. Like if my arm was sore from throwing.
Yeah.
We had this stuff called Tiger Balm, which is like icy hot times 10.
Oh my gosh. And it was a balm? Like you rubbed it on?
Yeah, Tiger Balm. Tiger Balm, B-O-M-B.
Oh, it's balm. Like a...
Yeah,
okay.
That's just what it was called. It was just like a super intense icy hot. It's probably the same thing, but they advertised it to be more intense. But yeah, it always worked. I mean, my arm felt great while I was active, using it.
So this is obviously a pretty...
Maybe you should go get scraped.
You think?
Have you ever been scraped? Like muscles?
Isn't that just for sore muscles? I feel like it shouldn't... I don't think it's for like damaged muscles. Yeah, I don't know. But...
You scrape your muscle off your ribcage.
It's like, well, that probably made it worse. Have you ever had any like just obscure injuries that you were like, what is going on?
I've strained my rotator cuff once, but it wasn't anything. It was over in like a couple of weeks, but
yeah.
I have an injury that's left a lasting effect.
I
have, believe it or not, I don't know if you knew this. You do know this, but I have minor hearing loss in my right ear.
Jeez.
And it's pretty sad as to how I got it. It's not sad. Probably more embarrassing, but so fun fact, everyone. I can't dive headfirst into a pool. I don't know what it is. I know. See, it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, just my body's reaction just doesn't allow me. I don't know if it's just a self-conscious fear. I don't know. I can't dive headfirst in the pool. I always break my body and like flail and belly flop.
So like, do you mean, when you say that, do you mean like fear of diving headfirst, or do you mean like medically, like you're not supposed to, or else something bad's gonna happen?
No, just like a fear.
Okay, so it's like
of like,
okay,
maybe it's just a self-conscious thing. Like maybe when I was a kid, I got water in my ears, and I just absolutely hated that feeling.
Okay.
And now it's just, or like water up my nose, and now it's just a self-conscious thing that I cannot dive.
Wow.
And so like when I was like 7 or 8, I didn't learn how to dive, so I've never dove. Like, why
Yeah.
can't teach an old dog new tricks? Like, come on. And so my entire family knows this, so they like to exploit it when they can. So we had like a family cookout. This was like a few summers ago. This is probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. Yeah, I was probably 21. Jeez, I can't believe that's a long time ago. Anyways, we're having a family cookout. We're all swimming, all the little cousins, and we're jumping off, like doing cannonballs. And my uncle, he's like, do a dive. And I'm like, no, fuck that. And then, of course, he gets everybody going. He's like, they start chanting, dive, 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 dive. And I was like, all right, screw you guys. I'm going to dive. And so I jump in head first, and I get up, and it's nothing like intense, but if I have water in my ears is what I feel like. And so, the trick is like vinegar or whatever, or like peroxide you put in your ear to get all the water out.
No, actually, I did not know that. But I guess it makes sense.
There's like a vinegar solution that you can use. I can't remember what the other ingredient is, but you can use peroxide or rubbing, maybe not rubbing alcohol, but peroxide.
Yeah.
You put it in your ear, and then you flip it over, and all the water drains out.
Okay.
So I said, hey, Mom, can you help me out and put this peroxide in my ear? I feel like I got water in my ears. And when she did, fun fact, I had a hole in my eardrum. I had burst my eardrum when I dove in head first. So I guess the water pressure, when my head went in, the water came out and then clapped back on my ears.
Jeez. That's crazy. I didn't even think that was like a possibility. But,
like the perfect seal. If you like smack somebody. Burst my eardrum. So she pours the peroxide in, and it's just like it hits the nerve or whatever, and just shoots down my neck, like down my jawline, down my neck. It like stung. Oh my god! Shocked those nerves.
Yeah.
And it was just a crazy burning pain. It just hurt.
Yeah.
Like kind of made your mouth, like your eyes water. Make you salivate a little bit. It was wild. But anyways, so I kind of just like put it off, kind of like you did. And so like I would be, at the time I was giving baseball lessons to kids, like during the summer. And so after, I'd be all hot and sweaty or whatever, I'd be breathing in through my nose, and I could feel the air go into my ear.
But of course,
so, when your ears pop and you try to sniff to like bring the pressure back in.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing that, and I could feel the air go into my ear.
Dude, but you obviously didn't know exactly what it was. You just felt something. I mean, like, because at the time you didn't know your eardrum was burst, right? Or was broken.
No, not immediately. But that's the only thing that I could deduce and like conclude is that diving in head first is what burst my eardrum. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
It could have been almost anything. I could have been listening to music too loud, and that was the final straw. But that's, that was what made sense to me and my mom as I discussed it with her to go to an ear doctor. And so I go to the ear doctor, and it's, of course, it's Dr. Dirk. He made a return.
Is it really?
It was Dr. Dirk. I mean, and by that, I mean he was of Indian descent. Great doctor, by the way. Great doctor. So he said, yeah, you got a hole in your eardrum. We're going to patch it up. And the way he was describing it, he was like, yeah, we're just going to put some cigarette paper on there, and we're going to cauterize it. And I was like, why do you he kept saying cigarette paper. So basically, they were just going to put a patch of paper on my eardrum, and then cauterize the edges to where, it would hold in place, and so the cells had like a bridge to like close together.
Wow.
And so there was no incision needed to be made. They just like, they put me under, and it was like a 15-minute procedure, if that.
Yeah.
And they patched up my eardrum, 3 months go by. I go back for a checkup, do my hearing test. No difference. I still can't hear for shit out of my right ear.
Jeez.
So they're like, all right, I'm going to recommend you to a new doctor, and this doctor's name, and I kid you not, this is his actual name. His name was Dr. McFeely. I'm not joking. His name is Dr. McFeely.
You're like, oh, okay, is this a girl?
No, it wasn't. I mean, to be fair, Dr. McFeely, he's a real cool dude.
He was a cool dude,
But he was a cool dude. Wouldn't trust him around kids, though. But anyways, or my mom. But, so, he took a good look. Dr. McFeely felt around my ear a good bit.
Yeah.
And in your ear, you have hearing bones. And so there's two bones in your ear that are aligned, kind of like, I don't know if I can show this. They're like hooked like this. And
they vibrate?
Sound comes into your ear and it vibrates them, and that's how your brain interprets the sound. That's how you understand what's being said.
Human body, man.
Coming in.
Crazy.
Yep, it's crazy. So mine were misaligned.
So they weren't touching.
That's why... Well, I don't know if they touched or not, but they were misaligned. They were like off like a little bit, maybe like, yeah.
You need to get some
one
ear
of them
braces.
was chipped. Yeah.
Oh, one of them is chipped.
Yeah. So basically, they made an incision on where the back of my ear connects to my head, and then they basically just peeled my ear open, just flapped that bitch open.
Jeez, dude.
And got in that canal.
Oh my God, McFeely in the canal.
McFeely was all up in my canal, feeling around.
Dude.
Touching my bones, my hearing bones. So they put an artificial piece on there, realigned them, stitched me back up. I mean, you can never tell that I got my ear cut, flapped open. It was a really good cut. Good job, McFeely. He's really good with his hands. Real steady.
Yeah.
But basically, I did a couple more hearing tests, and that was the best. Like, it's the best my hearing's gonna get on its own. Obviously, it's gonna deteriorate as I get older, but I'm diagnosed with minor hearing loss.
Wow. So
I can hear out of my right ear. It's just not as clear as the left. Like, background noise is my arch nemesis. Like, I can hear that somebody was talking. I just may not be able to understand what every word said. So
gotcha.
Yeah, working as a waiter sucked. So I probably naturally like do this and like turn my good ear towards people, but I have an appointment for hearing aids this month, and they got some pretty cool hearing aids.
Yo, that's kind of cool.
They look like just like earbuds, and they're like Bluetooth. They connect to your phone. You can turn them up and down.
No way. You're kidding though, right?
No.
Really? That's sick.
Hearing aids are insane. They got like one that's like a little dot that goes on the back of your ear. It just looks like a nicotine patch almost. Mm-hmm. Not that I know what that looks like.
No, you don't.
But yeah.
But I think I just showed a titty on the pod.
You almost showed a tit?
I did. It just popped out. I'm going to blur it in the After Effects.
do like a big emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I have minor hearing loss, and that's my random injury that I have to live with the rest of my life. So I can't wait to be the old man that's just like, what?
What? Yeah, I hope that mine injury is not as weird as that one. I hope it's just a whatever I think it is.
Yeah, it's just a
and
minor
it's
strain.
not a freaking tumor the size of a boomer in my heart. That would suck.
What exactly is a boomer?
You know, like that generation of people.
Oh, a tumor the size of an old person.
Yeah.
Wow, I just called all the boomers out and called them old.
Damn. I think we're
But
not on that cusp, right? We're well into the.
See,
I actually don't. I don't even know what a boomer is.
I think you're technically a millennial. I am Gen Z. So 1997 is the first year of Gen Z, and you're the last year of millennials. So what's happened is, like, you know, the early stages of Gen Z, the early years of Gen Z, probably like up to 98, 99, and then maybe the last couple of years of millennials. That's been coined now as the Zillennials.
Oh, so we're zillennials.
We're zillennials, but that's unofficial. It's unofficial. Because I don't want to be with these Gen Z motherfuckers. They like give us.
Yeah.
They
I
give
don't wanna be.
my generation a bad name.
We're
Zillennials.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. What was that? What group?
The Can you say it one more time for me?
See, now you're fucking me up. I'm trying not to say it wrong now. Zillennials.
Zillennials. Okay.
Zillennials. Yeah,
Right,
we're
gotcha.
zillennials, and I think I would rather be a zillennial than a Gen Z.
A Gen Z.
Or a millennial.
Yeah. Nice.
So I think that's where we leave it. So all
Yeah.
you fellow zillennials out there, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday or Wednesday or whenever you're watching this. But
Yes.
hey, check us out on Thursday. We'll have another fresh episode ready for you.
Yes. This was a good one. I like it.
What'd you say?
I love it. I said this was a good one.
I'm sorry, I can't. I have bad hearing. What'd you say?
I said we're gonna pinch it off. Is what I said.
What?
What? And
What?
push it out.
3, 2, 1, bye. 3, 2, 1, bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.